Right, so good evening and welcome to Easy Talk, Bite Size, the live show we like to do with so many fantastic guests on this channel, Cannon Follow TV. And guess who's come back? It's Richard from ARSCRY TV. Richard, how are you going, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I've just been a bit fuming inside about the Wolves game. I'm more fuming about that game to what I was about Crystal Palace. But apart from that, I'm all good.
Yeah, it's been a challenging week, challenging last 7 days. It's been a testing last 7 days. And if you haven't seen the matches over the last 7 days, I'm not sure where you've been. But before we get into it, there is some sad breaking news. I've just spoken to Richard before we came online that Emiliano Sala, apparently there's news coming from World News that his father, Salah, has passed away. Again, that's just coming from World News online. So very, very sad, Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that they really wanted to hear after, obviously, their son passing away, which is still, even to today, still sad to hear as well. But it's life; it happens. But maybe he might have been grieving for his son. Maybe he was being ill. I don't know. You won't know the truth, but
Yeah.
it is sad to hear.
Yeah. So, either way, it's very, very sad. Within less than 3 months, they've both passed away. But anyway, let's get
Yeah.
to the nuts and bolts of the Palace game. The Palace game. I was just wondering, is Palace quickly coming, our bogey team? The first time we played against them, this campaign, we just about scraped a draw. However, things are kind of caught up with us, and we lost. We lost. Richard, what's your thoughts or reflection on the Palace game?
Mustafi again. I don't ever want to see that guy in an Arsenal shirt next season because
What's wrong with Mustafi?
he's cost us so many goals. He's cost us so many chances that have literally just slipped away from us. You think about it. You mean we had Huddersfield? They didn't even score a goal at all in the league, and then when they came up against us, they scored a goal. I don't know what it is about Arsenal. I've got no idea. It was sloppy defending from Mustafi. There was a chance where he thought that Lino was going to come out to get the ball, and Lino didn't even move. So that was very, very frustrating, and it was just literally just schoolboy defending from him. It's just ridiculous. There was a chance in that Crystal Palace game where we could have equalised and made it 2-2, but we just didn't take our chances, and that was the problem.
Let me ask you this question. We have seen so many times that you say, Mustafi making so many errors. Then why does Unai Emery continue to play this guy who's been at Everton, Valencia, and he's ended up on the shores here? Continue to play Squadron Mustafi when we know there are so many errors in the way that he plays or the way that he defends. Why does Emery continue to play him?
I don't know whether it's because he's the most experienced defender that we have in our side, apart from Lauren Koscielny and Socrates. But I think he's better off using one of the youngsters, to be quite honest. I think when Medley has played for us in the Europa League games in the group stages, he didn't look too bad. He looks better to what Mustafi has done in the time that he's been here. Maybe it's just lack of numbers. We don't have the right. Maybe they don't have the right mindset, and it is true. Our defense doesn't have the right mentality. It's what it is. I don't know. It's something that we need to sort out.
Yeah. I don't know why Emery continues to play Mustafi, but however, Mavropanos, has had one or two appearances, towards the business end of the season, and he looks too rusty. So is it just the fact that he's just trying to play, the best of a really bad bunch? Because to play any of the youth players there, notably Mavropanos, that's an even bigger risk. So basically, he's stuck with these set of players.
It is. I think that's what Emery he needs to figure out in his mind, and the club needs to figure out in their mind what they're going to do in the summer. What players are they going to shift on? And I think Monreal will most likely be one of them as well to be shift on. Because
Really?
I don't think Monreal's good enough. Because I've noticed every time when he plays on that right-hand side, on the left-hand side, he always gets caught out. When he comes up against pace, he always gets outplayed. So I don't think he's good enough. Jenkinson, I don't think he's good enough either for the team. I would have preferred playing Mustafi on the right instead of Jenkinson against Wolves. Sorry.
No.
It's just something that the club needs to do in the summer. Emery needs to get rid of the old wood that's been at the club for a while and bring in his own players. But then again, Stan Kroenke needs to pull his money out of his pocket and back the manager. Because if he doesn't, then we're pretty much stuck as a Europa League side.
Yeah. So, let me just kind of turn the question around the other way. So which players would you keep? Which players will you definitely keep? I think we've made it plainly clear the players that we will get rid of. But which players would you keep?
In terms of our defence, I'd probably keep Laurent Koscielny, but I'd probably have him on the bench as a backup. So if we go out and bring out another decent centre back, he's always there as a backup if we need him. I think he'd be one of them I would keep. Mustafi, I would get rid of. That's for sure. I can't think of anyone else who I would get rid of.
Well, you mentioned Jenkinson, didn't you? You would get rid of
Yeah, I'd get rid of him. I'd get rid of El Neni as well.
Yeah.
Because with El Neni, it's just backwards, sideways, backwards, sideways. I don't see why Unai Emery played him against Crystal Palace because I think it was a wrong move. I know Lucas Torreira was on the bench. Well, if he's fit enough on the bench, he should be starting.
Yeah. What about Xhaka? Would you show Xhaka? Because
I think Granit Xhaka has played better this season to what he has done last season. I don't know. I would probably keep him.
Ozil, you keep Ozil again, wouldn't you?
Do you know what? What bothered me about the Wolves game, he keeps pulling out a 50-50 challenges where he keeps pulling out, and that's starting to annoy me now. Why is he doing that? Yes, I know he stepped up when we needed a goal against Crystal Palace. Yeah, by all means, but you need to be doing that on a weekly basis, not just once in the blue moon.
Yeah, but Richard, to be fair, that has been the Ozil way. That maybe 1 in 5 or maybe 1 in 10 matches, he shows us that class he has there. That's nothing new. That is nothing new with Mesut Ozil. What I found really annoying when we played against Wolves was when things weren't going for him, when he wasn't getting the ball quickly enough, or he himself was running the ball out of play. It was his body language.
Yeah, it was his attitude.
It was just so negative there. And of course, negativity can breed so quickly throughout the whole team. That's not the kind of player that we want at Arsenal. We want players who are going to roll up their sleeves and get in there, and mix it up with the opposition there. Having players who have a negative effect, whether it's verbally or with their body language, doesn't help the cause. It doesn't help the cause.
It doesn't. Because if you look, I'd probably keep him because of the Adidas brand that we've got coming next season, because he's going to be very, very key for that, because he's also in partnership with Adidas. So I would probably keep him for that aspect of the market value. But I don't know, it's a 50-50. It is 50-50 for Ozil. I don't know.
Richard, I got cut off there. But sod the kit deal we've got with Adidas there. Sod it. Get rid of him. We know he's on £350,000 a week. And if we got rid of him, that will give us look, that is old news. We've been saying it so many times. So if you're saying to me that you would want to keep him for the PR and the business and the shirt deal, I've got to completely disagree with you. We're not there to make. We're there to win trophies, Richard.
I know, but I would also, on the flip side, that I would also get rid of Mkhitaryan because he hasn't done that great either. To be quite honest, since he's been here,
an absolute flop.
Yeah. So to be honest, I don't think I would actually get rid of him. But then, if you're going to get rid of Özil, get rid of Mkhitaryan, and Ramsey's also going, who are you going to put in at number 10? We've got no one to put in there.
No.
That's the only problem we've got. And I reckon, I don't think for Ramsey's replacement, I don't think we need to go and buy out for him. I would give Emerald Smith-Rowe a chance because I saw a post. I think it was either on Twitter or Facebook, and they said that Emerald Smith-Rowe next season is not going nowhere. So I think Emery has got plans for him next season. He might actually decide to say, you know what, we need Ramsey's replacement. We're probably not going to get that much money in the summer. Now's your chance.
Yeah.
And I would actually play Emerald Smith-Rowe as Ramsey's replacement. I think he's done well since he's played, even in Europa Leagues. He's scored a couple of goals. Why not give him that chance?
But have you spoken as well about, trying to get players who are currently playing the Premiership rather than going abroad? I think, didn't you not say, we'll probably want to take the Leicester City defender? Actually, his name escapes me now.
Harry Maguire.
Maguire.
I would take him as a defender, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
rather than going
I think it would be better to have someone alongside Socrates who knows the Premier League inside out.
Absolutely.
So I think, and I think he'll be absolutely good alongside Socrates because he seems to have that same sort of fight and that same sort of passion in that defence. So I think that would be a good partnership.
Yeah.
But then it's also the right back position and the left back position. Because we all know that C. Kolesnik cannot play in a back four because he's not that good defensively. So
there's a wing back.
Yeah, so you need to think, well, who are we going to get for a left back?
But what's happened to Kolasinac? Because I remember the first season when he came in, when he was bombing down the left-hand side, rather than trying to cut back, provide an assist for whether it's Aubameyang or Lacazette, he would try and smash the ball into the goal. But right now, he seems to be not in two minds, but he's more concerned about providing an assist rather than going for goal. Is that a major problem for Arsenal? Or the way? Can you not notice the difference in the way that he plays? I mean, for me, he just bombs down, gets to the bar line, and then he's more concerned about cutting the ball back rather than having a dig or having a shot on goal. No, or is it only me? Probably just me.
I don't know. I noticed it even when he was playing the Bundesliga as well. I saw him a couple of times when he was coming bombing down on that left hand side, and he used to cut the ball in and to get the player on and get the player on. And he always used to find a man. But what frustrates me now when he's been playing with Arsenal, he's been trying to go for crosses. It's not finding no one.
Yeah.
So maybe the opposition have kind of realised what he's going to do. Maybe maybe they have sussed him out. Because, as you say, sometimes when you first play someone that comes to a club, you don't know what they're like. You don't know what they're going to do because you've never played against them. But as soon as you've played them once, you realise the second time what they're going to do.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed,
and that's as a defender.
Yeah. I noticed on your player ratings, there's probably only one player that got over 5. I think was it Nketiah?
Nketiah, yeah.
Yeah. What about the other players? I mean,
no, I think
did Lacazette have such a bad game against Wolves?
I think he was isolated, to be quite honest. I don't think that it was mainly a quiet day for him. I think he was kind of missing Aubameyang on the field as well. And it was a shame that Aubameyang wasn't playing because he would have been ideal for that game as well because of his pace to go down get Wolves into the channels, just exactly like Wolves were doing to us. And Wolves have been doing that consistently against the top 6 sides.
But you know what, Richard? Again, Wolves are another team where we just about got the draw. We drew, was it 1-1 against them the first time?
Yeah, the first time, the Emirates, we drew 1-1.
Yeah, so again, it's like we've got our just desserts, you know, and you know, as much as I hate to say this, for me, looking at the match, it was more about how, you know, Espirito Santos, the Wolves manager, is more about how actually it was his team. It wasn't so much that Arsenal played bad. It was that Wolves played absolutely skin. When Arsenal was on the ball, they were so slow, Richard. They were so slow.
Do you know what, Alex? I would say probably in the first 20 minutes of that Wolves game, we was all over them, to be quite honest.
Yeah, but we didn't capitalise.
We didn't. And I think what Wolves were doing, they was cutting us through the middle of our defence. Straight through the middle. You had a free kick from Wolves, which was a brilliant free kick. And then they caught us with the header from a corner. That's just something that we've been stopping throughout the season. It's not that often that we've conceded a goal from a corner as well.
Yeah.
So
do you blame Leno for what the goal there?
Yeah, two errors, two errors. For one of them, I don't think that Leno should have came out from his goal. I think he should have stood there, because I think if the header was coming in, I think he would have stopped that. I think he would have saved it.
He would have caught it.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, you look at that on the flip side and think, well, Leno is a player that's got us out of danger quite a few times this season, and he's probably been one of our best players as well, in terms of the defence. But if you put a decent defence in front of him, there would be no problems. It's a defence that have got to man up, because what your job is to protect that goalkeeper, to not let the opposition to get in at goal. That is your job, is to protect the goalkeeper.
I mean, you know, I don't want to be too hard on Leno, because he's had a great first season at Arsenal there, and I think he's probably allowed to have maybe one mess up there. But again, you know, we win as a team and we lose as a team.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that I think, you know, in the conclusion, Richard, we have
weak mindset players in this team that are individuals that have got a weak mindset.
Yeah, but you know, I think we've overachieved this season. We have overachieved because, again, you know, Emery, majority of the players in the squad are not his players.
No, that is very, very true. He has.
Can you imagine if it was not for that 22 unbeaten run, I guess, you know, in all competitions, where would we be? We'll probably be in mid-table. I think maybe we are a mid-table team. With this crop of players,
the way I look at it, our defense is a bottom 3 team. Our midfield, I would probably say, is a middle half team, and our attack is, I would say, a top 3.
What a mismatch! Yeah, it's just a complete mess.
Yeah,
it's a complete mess.
And do you know what? If you look at Unai Emery at the moment, he has overachieved, because we're into the semi-finals of the Europa League, where we was last season against Atletico Madrid. We're in that same position, but now we've got Valencia. I think Valencia are going to struggle against us as well, because over in Spain they still play that slow sort of pace game. And then you've got Gabriel that's going to be in Valencia's backline. As well, and you got Francis Coquelin, who's going to be in their midfield. And I think that really what Arsenal should have done, we should have kept Gabriel and sold Mustafi, because I think Gabriel was mistreated, and he actually told me out of the horse's mouth as well, because I met him, and I said to him, like, he saw me, he went, "Oh, you're an Arsenal fan?" I went, "Yeah." And I said to him, I went, "Tell me the truth, you was mistreated at Arsenal?" He went, "Yeah." He said, that's why I'm not going to be Arsenal this summer, I'm going. And then before you knew it, he left.
But you know what? Valencia they were unbeaten, I think, in more than 50 odd games. I think that run
I think so.
It's come to And then I did see the tweet from James Rowe, and actually,
Yeah.
by the way, which will be on Fan Comments this coming Monday, just talking about some European football and other bits and pieces. But anyone who's just coming by and watching this segment of Easy Talk, I haven't left, Richard, I haven't left the link to your channel, but
That's okay.
I will do. I completely forgot. But I will do a link for Richard's channel, which is Arsenal TV, in the comments box below, as well as leaving the link for his Twitter handle. What is the name of your Twitter handle, Richard?
Well, my Richard AFC one is my normal Twitter one, and I've got one for my YouTube one, which is Arsenal TV Media.
Okay, leave the link once we've finished this segment of Easy Talk.
And you know what? Another thing that I want to say, like, if you look at the 22 game unbeaten run that we had, there is some games in there that we should have lost. And the funny thing is, when I looked at the fixtures before Chelsea played against Burnley, and I was looking at it and I was thinking, hold on a minute, if we win our last remaining games and Chelsea wins their last remaining games, we'll be level on points, but we would go above them by goal difference. Well, we lost, Chelsea lost, Man United lost. So really, it's not just us, but all three of us are bottle jobs, because we've all bottled it. We all lost the game.
Yeah, none of us wants it. None of us wants
it. And the funny thing is about it is that we are still 1 point behind Chelsea for top 4.
That's incredible, isn't it?
I know. In terms of the defeats that we've had and the results that Chelsea have had, it's just weird how we are still only 1 point behind Chelsea for top 4. So yeah, I reckon top 4 is still on, but we have to beat Leicester.
Will we beat Leicester?
Not if we play like we did against Everton, or like we did against Crystal Palace, or like we done against Wolves. No, we won't.
Well, we've only won 2 away games in 11, so the form book doesn't look too good, Richard.
It doesn't whatsoever. It doesn't. But it's football. That's what it does.
Yeah, it stresses you out. You're an Arsenal fan. I had a full head of hair when I started supporting Arsenal, or more than 40 years ago, and now I've lost all my hair. But that's a different story. That's a different story. So yeah, we've just been talking about Leicester City. So you reckon what, Richard's going to happen on Sunday with Leicester City away from home?
If you want to look at the previous results that we had away from home, it doesn't look very good compared to Leicester's. And I think Leicester are going to be up for this game because, they've been through a really, really tough time this year after losing their owner in that helicopter crash. Yeah. So I think they really want to finish the season in a good way to remember him. In terms of us, I don't know. It depends on what Arsenal turns up. Is it going to be the Arsenal that turned up against Tottenham this season? Or is it going to be the Arsenal that turns up against Everton or Wolves?
I have a sneaky feeling which Arsenal is going to turn up on Sunday.
But then again, it depends on who's fit that can play, and it depends what sort of players that Emery is going to choose.
But Richard, you say that against Wolves, Unai Emery chose the strongest team possible.
Yeah, I don't.
And they still let him down.
Do you know what? For Wolves, I don't blame Emery at all. I don't blame him at all. I just think he might have got 1 or 2 tactics wrong during that game.
Really?
Yeah.
For example?
Yeah, I think he did get his tactics wrong. Yeah. But as I said, I don't really blame Emery because he put out the strong enough side to go and beat them. But yet we still lost. So really, it's down to the players. The players deserve all the criticism that they get.
Yeah.
Because I remember you had Mustafi coming out on Twitter, I think it was, and he said, we don't need people behind the scenes to tell us what to do. Well, I think you do because you can't defend. Yeah, because you can't defend. So maybe you do need some own truths to say, look, this is what you're doing, and this is what us fans are getting worried about. You need to start playing better. Start playing for the badge, and then everyone will remember the name on the shirt.
Richard, they are just not good enough. They lack that hunger and fight in their belly. You know,
And
and
this
you
is
can't.
and this is why I
And you
liked.
know, even if we've got Lucas Torreira, you can't rely on just one player to bring the fight to the opposition.
No,
Much less two, Socrates. You need all 11 players on the same page. We can't afford to carry any players.
we need
And that's
that
what
same site, that we need that same fight and that same hunger like we showed against Tottenham at the Emirates. That is what we want, but we want that against everyone, not just a one-off team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And as I said, I just think that these players are just weak-minded. They're not good
I'm,
enough for this club. I want
I'm
that.
gonna
I
push.
want that same hunger like Alexis Sanchez had. That's what I want for everyone.
Do you want him back? Is that what you're saying to me?
In terms of, do
Richard.
you know what?
No,
Do
Richard.
you know what? Do you know what? I give Alexis Sanchez a credit for what he done for the club. He fighted for us on that field. He gave 110% every game, not like everybody else did. But the one thing I wouldn't want is him causing problems in the dressing room. But then again, that's in every player's mind.
Yeah, and that's what I said to you when I tweeted to you. I said, you know, with I don't think you can separate one from the other unless you're playing for a Man City, a Barcelona, you know, Real Madrid, those top teams where you've got players who are already hungry.
Yeah.
In the Premiership, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Can I push you for a prediction?
For Leicester's game,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest, I'll go with a draw.
Okay.
I'll go with a draw. I can't. The players need to show up. They need to show us something to say, yeah, okay, we're gonna fight for the rest of this season and finish that top four spot. We'll start proving it on the field, because against the away games that you've done this season, you haven't done it. You've only won 2 games away from home in terms of the league. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it is a catch-22, because you don't know what team's going to play out. You don't know which Arsenal's going to turn up. So I'd probably go with a draw.
A draw. That will take us to 67 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hoping that Chelsea lose against
Man
Man
United, I
United.
think it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know what to think.
I don't either. I
This
do
season
think
has
that
just
I do
been.
think that this Premier League title, the title race between City and Liverpool, is going to go to the last day. I can see it. I reckon it's going to go to the last day, because Man City and Liverpool are just not dropping points at this, because they know they're at the closing stages, and they know that every game is one step to the title. So it's going to.
Who's your money on?
Realistically, I'd probably say Man City, really, but
Yeah.
Liverpool might get on the last day because of maybe goal difference. I don't know, but it looks to me it could go Liverpool's way.
Yeah. Oh,
But I don't want to get my prediction wrong, because at the start of the season, I actually predicted that Man City would win the title and then Liverpool would be second, and I did
Did you put
predict
money
us. No, I didn't.
on
And I did also predict that Arsenal would be third, but that's gone out the window.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's this top 4 situation where, like we said, you know, it's like the 3 teams, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man U, are like just kind of trying to give it away, and no one wants to take it. You know, but Sunday will be something to be interesting, and I'm hoping for a draw, a 2-2 draw. But you know, we'll see.
That's kind of what I'm thinking as well. 2-2. I would like to see some goals in the game. I just want the 3 points. That's all I want. I just want the 3 points. I don't care how in these last away games that we've got. I don't care how we play. I just want the 3 points, because that 3 points will get us top 4.
Yeah.
And I did say in my video that if we win our last 4 remaining games, including that Wolves game, we won our last 4 remaining games, we will get top 4. Fact. That's fact. We would get top 4, but because we lost against Wolves, it's down to the last 3 games.
But you know what, Richard? I hate to look that far ahead. It has to be game by game. We can't afford to look that far forward because
Mm,
we'll take our eye, pardon the pun, we'll take our eye off the ball. It has to be
yeah.
one game at a time. If we can get, the draw, against Leicester City, I'll be happy with that. I can't remember who do we play after Leicester City. Is it Burnley? Or is Burnley the last game of the season? I'm not even sure.
No, Burnley. I think Burnley's our last game of the league. I think that's our last game.
Um, I
We've
think
wait, how many? We've played Watford, played Leicester. Oh, I think we got Brighton.
Brighton. Brighton, you're right.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah,
We got
that's it.
is it Brighton at home?
Yes, we've got Brighton at home. Yeah,
Or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Brighton at
That's
home.
it.
So I'm expecting 3 points against Brighton. I am expecting 3 points for that game because we're at home. And we've only lost 2 games at home this season, so that's not really bad going. But our home record has always been there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
that away form that needs tightening up big time.
These are stressful
It's
times.
only, I think it's only maybe the last 3 years, 3 maybe 5 years that our away record has been the way it is.
Dismal. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if you go 10 years ago, our away record wasn't so bad. But I think it's only been the last 3, maybe 4 years since our away record's been really bad.
yeah. Anyway, listen,
And I think it is. I think it is down to the players. It's
I'm
the
gonna wrap up.
mentality. It's
I'm gonna
just
wrap up.
isn't there.
I'm gonna wrap up this segment of Easy Talk Bite Size. But before I do, Richard, I want to say a big thank you coming back on
You're welcome.
your talk on Cannon Fodder. And like I said, I will leave the link for your Twitter handle and your YouTube channel in the comments box below. And thank you to everyone who passed by. I can see we had maybe the maximum amount of views we had was probably 6 or 7. But to the 6 and 7 of you who just passed by, I want to say a big thank you. Again, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV. Make sure you also follow Arsenal TV, Richard's channel. And yeah, it's just difficult times, challenging times being an Arsenal fan and the fan base. Again, Richard, thank you very much indeed. From
You're
myself,
welcome.
Richard, and myself, Alex, we are out.